you are who you think you are. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. He says, if you think you won't succeed, you're not going to succeed. But if you change your mindset and you say to yourself, I can succeed, and you start kind of changing your thought process, the way you speak to people about your dreams and your goals, the way you act, the way you dress, then it would eventually come true. And I said, I wonder if this is realistic. Let me try to apply that in my own personal life. And this was back all the way in 2004. And because that one professor taught that lesson, that's pretty much what changed my life in thinking positive in the things that I want.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This is Opportunity, the podcast brought to you by California Intercontinental University. Today, we have Debora Santiago, an alumni and recent graduate. There is so much that can be learned and gained from her experiences. So welcome, Debora. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
We're really excited, and I really want to just dive right into this opportunity. So,
Perfect.
Your journey, it began when you saw a flyer, is this correct? Like a literal sign on a wall?
Literally a sign on the wall. I was pursuing a degree in nursing because I was working in a clinic, a pediatric clinic, which also serviced for OBGYN as well. I was very excited about the field of nursing because I was working along with physician assistants, I was working along with providers, as well as other medical assistants. A few nurses, colleagues of mine were like, why don't you look into nursing? And I said, you know what, maybe I can do nursing. And I decided to go to the community college for me to pursue some nursing classes. And then I realized nursing was not for me. Although it was very interesting, it was very challenging, but it really was not my passion. My true calling was actually business administration in the healthcare industry. So I decided to switch my major from nursing to business administration, which I excelled in the community college. And one day while I was walking in the business department, I saw a flyer on the wall. And it says, do you dream of pursuing your bachelor's degree online? And I said, is this even possible? Is this a joke? So I took a picture of the flyer, and I went and I spoke to my advisor. And I said, what do you think about this? It was the year 2006. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of online schools.
Yeah, online school was coming right around about that time.
I said, is this a joke? Is this a hack? Is this for you for real? And my advisor said, oh yeah, it's this new university, a new school that's opening up in New York, where they are the first university to open an online class for the BA program. You know what? I finished my bachelor's degree online. And when I graduated in 2009, I was the third year graduating class, and it was only like 107 of us in the university. And now the graduating class for 2020 is like over 1,000 students.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I'm really excited that I was part of the first students to go online school. And I tell you, it was the best decision of my life. I had, at that time, my daughter was probably around 4 or 5 years old. So it took a lot of sacrificing. I'm going to the brick and mortar school when I did the community college. I was going to school 7 days a week, fluctuating schedules with other coworkers for me to try to assist my courses. And traveling in New York City is very difficult with mass transit. And it was really difficult for me to keep my studies and also my personal life and being a mother as well. And the moment that online school opened up for me in 2006, it was the best decision. And I never looked back after that.
The online education opened up a new opportunity for you. So,
Absolutely.
And you achieved it. You accomplished your degree, which is incredible. Tell me a little bit about that feeling you had when you accomplished your degree.
So once I accomplished the bachelor's degree, I was hungry for more. I said, I did it. And I am the first graduate in my family. Right now, I'm holding a doctorate degree from California Intercontinental University. And it is the best feeling in the world. But at that time in 2012, when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I said, you know what? I can push for my master's degree. My journey is not done yet. And I was excited because the same university that I completed my bachelor's degree opened up the master's degree program for business administration, majoring in healthcare leadership. And I said, ta-da, this is for me. And I went and I signed up and I did another 2.5 years and I obtained my master's degree. And that time frame, I had more children and I got married and my family grew and I was still able to continue with my studies online. And it was the best decision that I've ever done in my life. And I don't regret it, not even once.
Amazing. So you accomplished all three levels of degree. Well, four. You started at the associates, you went to your bachelor's, then your master's, accomplishing all the way to the point for your doctorate's degree.
That's correct.
So what did that education make possible for you? Like, where has it led you to today?
Oh, wow. By me obtaining my degrees, I'll be very honest with you, the higher the degree, the more opportunities you have. I'm able to get managerial position right now. I'm a manager in a very reputable hospital here in New York. It's called NYU. It's one of the top it's one of the top 10 in New York City. And the salary increased automatically. Like my first year, from switching from one position to the next, once I received that master's degree, I got over a $25,000 increase, which was amazing. It was such a breakthrough by me getting the master's degree because it's very competitive here in New York. So in New York City, in order for you to be a manager, to be managing people, a practice in an academic medical setting, you have to have a master's degree. And I was very proud to fit in that criteria where I was able to get that position. And it definitely opened up a lot of opportunities for me.
I know that degrees aren't easy. Nothing about them comes easily. It's hard work, it's dedication, you have to put the time in. So tell me about some of the sacrifices that you had to make while earning those degrees.
I'm going to be very honest with you. There were many, many sacrifices. And I have talked to many friends and many families of my family members, co-workers that just come to me and talk to me and tell me, how do you do it? How did you do it? Because they know I'm a career mom. I work a full-time job. I have a family, going to school. And I said, it's because it's for my family. I need to leave a legacy for my family. And yes, I sacrificed a lot. And I always kept saying to myself, this is not my forever. And in other words, one of the sacrifices were special events. Like there's parties, there's get-togethers. There was times where I had to decline the invitation because I have a paper to do. And it's like, oh, but come on, Deborah, you can do it next week. No. When I started doing the online school, I had to set away a schedule. I had to set away my time because I also have my priorities, which is my family as well. So I had to learn how to balance my life, my career, and my school. And it was not easy, but it was hard work, it was determination, and it was also a group effort as well. So I worked out with a plan with my husband of when I'm studying, he takes out and goes out with the kids or does other activities with them so I can go and study. I will also like to add, as I mentioned before, that I will have conversations with coworkers. I have a coworker that she received her bachelor's degree 7 years ago. And one day we were working together and she says, I really want to finish my master's degree. And I said, what are you waiting for? She's like, oh, my children, and her children were very young. And she says, I don't feel accomplished, Deborah. I really want to finish my master's degree, but I really don't think I can go back to the university. I said, hey, have you ever heard of my School of Professional Studies? I said, you should really check it out. I said, I'm in the classes. I'm almost finished with my master's degree. I said, you have work, you have balanced life and career, but you got to remember, it's all about the mindset. You have to think first in your mind, set the goal in your mind that this is what you want to accomplish and succeed with it. And you know what? She did it, and she just finished with her master's degree this past June. And she thanked me for it and wrote me a beautiful letter and said, thank you, Deborah. If it wasn't for you to give me that push, I wouldn't be celebrating today. And it was very touching because that really touched my heart that I was able to help someone fulfill their dreams. And she also had sacrifices as well. She had very young children, but she was very determined, and I was her coach. Like when there was issues with her, she'll come to me. If there was issues where I was fighting my own personal demons of my educational career, because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a very hard task in your life, but it's only for a little short period of your life. It's not forever. But the reward of when you get that degree, it is the best feeling in the world. And I wouldn't change that feeling for anything else. It was very rewarding.
I love to hear that. And I love to hear too that like you're encouraging friends and family. And I know that not everyone's like that. Not everyone has that mindset. Have you ever experienced something along the lines of that? Like maybe people discouraging you along the way, like especially as a first generation college student?
Absolutely. I think that one of the people that did discourage me was a few of my old colleagues that I worked with. And I remember working together and I said, you know what, I think I might want to pursue a doctorate degree. And that's when I started looking at CIU. And I'm like, you know what, this school sounds really good. It sounds exactly what I'm looking for. The healthcare leadership program, it's really exciting. And she tells me, why do you want to get your doctorate degree? And I'm like, because I know I can do this. And I would be the first one in my whole entire generation of family to have a doctorate degree. And I'm going to make a difference in my family. And she's like, but you only write fancy papers. And I'm like, I think there's more to fancy papers. I said, I think this is what I want to do. Oh boy, did she try to discourage me. She tried to tell me it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. You can travel. You can do this. You already finished your master's degree. What more do you want? And I said, well, I have one more task to finish, and that's to finish my doctorate degree. After that, there's nothing else. I'm done. I retire. And I didn't allow that to deter me another way. I was hurt. I'll be very honest with you. I was hurt because I'm the one where people come to for advice and they give you motivation. And then when it was my turn, it was like, maybe this is not for you. And I said, you know what? This is for me. And I'm not going to allow anyone else to make me change my mind or make me think otherwise. And I decided to go to CIU. I don't regret it. I'm excited, and I finished my degree.
It does ultimately come down to the mindset, like which is what you have. I love your mindset and the way like you go about visualizing these things. And I really want to learn a little bit about the resources that you use to help you. Would you mind sharing a few things about that?
Sure. So I'm going to share back when I completed my associate's degree. So I remember sitting in class in the class of psychology 101, the first class ever, the introduction of psychology per se. And I remember the professor teaching, and he says, you are who you think you are. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. He says, if you think you won't succeed, you're not going to succeed. But if you change your mindset and you say to yourself, I can succeed, and you start kind of changing your thought process, the way you speak to people about your dreams and your goals, the way you act, the way you dress, then it would eventually come true. And I said, I wonder if this is realistic. Let me try to apply that in my own personal life. And this was back all the way in 2004. And because that one professor taught that lesson, that's pretty much what changed my life in thinking positive in the things that I want. Another thing that I love is books in positive reinforcement, books in positive thinking, books in advancements. And one of my favorite books was The Mindset. It talks about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Years ago, I did have a fixed mindset. I really didn't think that I could. Once I completed my vocational training as a medical assistant, when I first started, in the Department of Pediatrics and OBGYN. I thought that was just my career. I just got out of high school, went to vocational training school, got my certifications, and I'm working with children in the healthcare field. I thought that was okay. But then, boy, was I wrong. I definitely had a fixed mindset. I said, no, this is not for me. There's more. I had to learn how to shape my mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And when you have a growth mindset, there is going to be pain, tears, troublesome. But at the end, the result is you can succeed if you believe in yourself. And that was my mantra. This is not my forever. And another resource that I did, because I love books on just bettering yourself, was a vision board. And the vision board, it's called The Secret. So pretty much you build this vision board and you put all the things that you want. And the way I did my vision board was short-term goals. What are my short-term goals in the next 5 years? And I use that vision board for my educational career. So I would say to myself, this short-term goal, I want to finish my bachelor's. I want to get a better job with more money. I want to go and meet new coworkers. I want to work in a more reputable company. And you know what? It started happening. And once I received my master's degree, I said, I'm going to build another vision board because I want to go into the managerial level. I want to go and manage people. I want to work on expense report, operating expense, all the big things that I dreamed to work. And you know what? It happened. And currently right now, I'm building on my vision board too, because I would love, with this doctorate degree, I would love to be a professor at the university, because at the end, that was my goal. And my goal was to retire as a professor. And I know that it's going to come true because this vision board, my mindset for years to come, has not failed me.
Well, Professor Debora, I mean, as you said, like you got to put
Right,
it,
that's how I like it.
you got to visualize it. And I think going from that associates, having that mindset, bringing it to where you are now, reminds me of a quick story from when actors are learning. There's a specific learning method called the Stanislavski method, where you would turn yourself into this person. Mm-hmm. Like you would visualize that person, look at it in a mirror, and like say to yourself, "I am this person," and become that person. And it helps people get into that character, get into that mode. And not only is that like relevant, but I think it comes out true with what you're saying. Like if you want something, you're not going to get it by saying, I don't know if I can do it right now. It's, I'm already doing stuff to become that. Debora, I mean, we've learned a lot about you today, and I'm really excited to like ask you a few more questions that I think will really help give us some more resources on how you achieved your opportunities. So one thing I think it's really important to consider is some of the skills you think someone needs to succeed. So what would you say are like your top 3 priority skills that are not like something that you can just learn instantly, like, oh, I'm going to go learn Excel for a little bit, learn this. Like, what are some of those mindset skills that you think can help someone thrive?
I think one of the best skills that you can use is very simple. Use your calendar on your phone or on your computer. If you're going to be going to school online, set a schedule on your calendar. Even if it's 1 hour a day to study, even if it's in the weekend, you're going to take 4 hours to write your paper. Use that simple free app on your phone. Time management is so important when you are doing online learning. Without time management, you're going to fall all over the place. You're going to feel overwhelmed. The moment you take control of that on your calendar and setting yourself aside for you to do study and work on your activities, eventually you're going to get used to the trend of like, okay, I can do this. At first it's really difficult because you might have a calendar full of things that you want to do. But once you start setting your calendar aside for you and for your studies, then everything else will follow very, very simple. Number two, you need to have the mindset of if you want this goal, then you can achieve it. No one else can achieve your dreams unless you. If you have a dream, go for it. Don't stop for anyone else. If you want to finish your doctorate degree, your master's degree, you want to open up your business, whatever your heart desires, the only one that can stop is you. No one else can stop you. So that would be the second thing. Control your mindset, set your goals. And then number three, learn how to balance your life, learn how to laugh, and learn how to have a little bit of fun, but all within a healthy range. So when it comes across those situations, when you are going online school and you're writing that paper, you need to also have a good support, someone to call just to kind of hear you out, just not losing your friends either, but also staying in touch with them. And that again falls along the spectrum of just having a healthy balance as well.
Awesome. I love hearing those tips, and that's something I stress sometimes too. Is like if you got to get it on your calendar. If you can't,
Correct.
you're not going to be able to figure things out if you can't figure yourself out.
That's correct. That is correct. I'm with you 100%.
I mean, and I've really enjoyed this conversation we've had. We've gone from your experience where you literally saw something on a wall talking about
That's
online
correct.
education to finishing an online doctorate degree and having incredible salary increases and really thriving in your field of healthcare. And
Yes.
I love hearing that stuff. Is there anything else that you would like to share that you think anyone would benefit from or find as an opportunity?
I am trying to reduce the stigma of how Latina women cannot succeed or how society sees us as having, children and staying at home and staying in the poverty line. And I want to be the one to make that difference. And it's important for Latinas to go and educate themselves because there's many resources that you can use. There's financial aid, there's payment plan, there's so many things that you can do to succeed. And I'm happy to say that I was one of the Latinas of Puerto Rican descent to go and do that. And when my family members saw that I graduated with a doctorate degree, boy, that it brought so much joy. And just even speaking about it with you just brings me a little emotional because a lot of my cousins are like, wow, you actually made it. You broke the barriers. And I said, well, you know what? You can do it too. And I said, I did it with 3 children and my husband, full-time career manager, managing people. I said, you can do it too. And they're like, you're such an inspiration, Deborah. I don't know if I can do it the way you did it. You're just a determined person. And I said, because the day that I leave this earth, I'm leaving my legacy. And my legacy is for my children to succeed and push forward. And I leave it for all the young ladies and the young men that there's more to this life and you can do it if you just change your mindset. Change your mindset, be positive. It's difficult, but if you change your mindset, you be positive, control your calendar, and just don't lose out on your friends and family and just let them know that, there's going to be times you just can't go to the party. But hopefully everyone would understand that right now your focus would be your educational career. And trust me, when you go and you pass and you get that degree, there goes the big party.
Well, Deborah, it's been a pleasure. I really think that some of the things you've shared about your opportunities, some of the resources you've had, are only going to be beneficial to society and the stuff you've done. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome. And as something we're going to be doing with this podcast, some of the resources that you were talking about, we do want to help provide those to some of the listeners. So with this podcast specifically, we're going to be celebrating the mindset that you have and the book that you were talking about, the mindset itself. We have a copy of it here.
Yeah.
So we're going to be sharing that and the supplies for a vision board to some of the listeners to provide them the resources that you find successful.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. The book is amazing and the vision board is amazing. And I hope that these resources can help you. And I hope that my story can help prospective students and current students, or even anyone that's just trying to just get that lift and that push. And you just need just that extra push. I'm telling you, I guarantee it. Be positive. You can do all things. The mantra is, this is not your forever.